Whoa, that's not good. Whenever you have a transmission issue, people always think that's it. You just need a new transmission, which that's not always the case. Sometimes it could just be something simple. Let's go check it out. Maybe you have a fluid leak and all you need is a transmission oil pan or even a gasket. When you're doing the gasket, you might as well do the filter as well. And it could be something more involved like a shift solenoid, which we sell all of those parts at 1aauto.com. You may notice you have a check engine light on, even though you have a transmission issue. All the electronics go through the PCM, which is the powertrain control module, and that sends the signal to turn the check engine light on. Most vehicles don't have a transmission-specific light just to let you know there's something wrong with the transmission. The first thing you want to do is scan test the vehicle and find out what codes you have, what's related to the transmission, and what's going on. That'll give you a direction of what to look at. One of the first things you want to do is check the fluid level. Now, depending on what type of vehicle you have, every vehicle is a little bit different for checking the level. You might have to have the engine running or not. There may be a dipstick like this vehicle, or there may be a plug that you have to pull out. Pull the dipstick out, give it a wipe, and then recheck it. You can check the level. You can also check the condition of the fluid. If it looks like it's extremely dark, then it's got to be changed. And there could be some internal components that have failed. If it smells burnt, then there's definitely some internal components that have failed. One of the ways you know it smells burnt, it's going to be extremely pungent. It's going to smell horrible. Now we're underneath the vehicle, and this is how most vehicles are set up. You have the engine in the front like this, attached to the transmission. The engine is producing the power, going through the transmission and making the magic of changing all the gears. Luckily on this vehicle, we have a transmission oil pan on the bottom of the transmission that we can pull down and take a look inside. We get a lot of fluid coming out. Just grab the pan and just slide it up. You can drain the rest of the fluid. Looking at the pan, this actually looks pretty good. We don't see any clutch material. There's a little bit of metal on the magnet, which is normal for the amount of mileage on the vehicle. There's no big chunks, it's just little specks of metal material, which isn't bad. That's normal wear for the amount of mileage on this vehicle. So don't worry about that. If you had major chunks, then you're going to look into other possibilities in your transmission. With the pan off, you can see what's going on inside the transmission. This is the filter right here. So as the transmission's running, it's sucking fluid through the screen right here. So if this gets plugged up at all, that's going to cause an issue. There's not going to be enough pressure going through the transmission. Take these off. They're pretty much the same. You just pull them down. This has already come off. That's why there was no extra fluid come out. Normally, when you pull this off, you're going to have a stream of fluid. But you want to take a look at that and see how dirty that is. This one overall doesn't look too bad. But if you see any metal filings in there, that's not good. This block right here where you see a bunch of bumps and stuff, this is the valve body. So this is what controls the fluid going through the transmission to select different gears. There's fluid pressure in there, and there's different solenoids that command the valves to open and close. And those are commanded electronically. You have wiring harness right here. So you want to take a look at the wiring harness, see how that is, and the connectors. So these are the two shift solenoids that we're looking at. This is a shift solenoid 1, 2, and this is the 2, 3. So if you're having a problem shifting in between one of those gears, this could cause an erratic shift, a harsh shift, or even no shift at all if it's not working at all. Here's the solenoid valve. Basically, when power and ground gets applied to this valve will open or close, causing the fluid to go into that valley right there, and it's going to move a valve. Now I'll just take this apart, show you what's inside. take this off. And there's a little ball. That little ball is basically the valve. It gets pushed into there when you want to block off the fluid to create pressure. There's a little pin right there that's going to push on the ball. So when we put power and ground to that, you'll see the pin come out. So we'll just hook a ground right here. And just touch this, and you can see the pin moving. Just like that. This is the little plunger that's in there. And you see that come out, just like that. In that area where that solenoid goes, there's going to be a valve that looks similar to this. This is what the solenoid is going to move hydraulically, and it's going to open and close different valleys to direct the fluid to a certain spot. So throughout the valve body, there's all these little valves going back and forth. While you're driving the vehicle, you don't even realize it's happening. They will be moving and redirecting the fluid. So we installed new solenoids that we got from 1A Auto, and we're going to install a new filter that we also got from 1A Auto. Now we're just going to grab the magnet, get it underneath. You can use a rag and wipe off the metal debris. That looks good right there. Transfer it over here. Now slide the pan up with the gasket. Try to get it to line up. It is slightly easier if you take some of these bolts and get those started in the gasket before you put the pan up. One nice upgrade for this oil pan that we got from 1A Auto is this drain plug. If you want to change your transmission fluid, it's a lot easier to change it with the drain plug. You can drain it out and refill it. Or even if you have to change the filter and pull the pan down, it's easier to drain it. Now we'll take the dipstick out, and that's where we're going to add the transmission fluid. I'm going to use a funnel and add the appropriate type of fluid. Put the dipstick back in, start it up, I'll run it through the gears and then check the level. Now pull the dipstick out. You want to wipe it down first, reinsert it, and pull it out again, and then you can check. And there's a hot area and a cold area. You want it in that cold area right now while it's still cold. So we might have to add about a half a quart to get it closer to the middle. And then once the vehicle's warmed up, check it again and make sure it's in between the hot area. This shift's nice and smooth now. Well, that's shifting so much better, and that job was quick and easy. And we got all the parts from 1aauto.com. If you need parts for your vehicle, click the link in the description. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe to our channel, ring the bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our videos.